Good morning, everybody. It's Joe, JBF Real Property. Just wanted to take a moment and speak to the investors. If you've listened to our first intro, to the first intro I did explaining the overall pains that we know you experience and the solutions that we've provided by simply streamlining it to have two options for rentals and two options for flips. The next phase of this is then once you reach out, you let us know you're interested, and you've watched that video. We'll have a conversation. You'll get a copy of the bid form so you can see the SKUs that we're providing to you that we're going to choose, as well as the secondary part, which is going to be deciding if you want to go with JBF, if it's a win-win situation, if you're able to go with what we have provided. So as long as you're willing to roll with that package and not vary off of what we've determined to be the best options to streamline your process, to spend the least amount of time in your properties, to get in and get out within 30, 60, 90 days max, no matter what the rehab is, as long as we're not doing value add to the homes. We're not adding bathrooms, bedrooms, additions, and all that stuff, and you're sticking with what the current layout is of the house, then we then can proceed, which then consists of you requesting a bid from JBF. Once a property is under contract, or once you have closed, you send an email out to rentals@jbf.bz. rentals@jbf.bz. That's for both rental properties and flip properties. So that's the next step. You'll reach out, you'll request a bid. We'll get you that bid typically within 72 hours, but definitely within the time frame of your inspection period. So that way you don't have to make any extensions. In most cases, you won't have to request an extension as long as you request that bid from us immediately following your accepted offer. We then assign it out to our bid team, who then gets one of our crews lined up out on site. They take a full set of pictures, they go through the entire bid form, they know what expectations we have on what the property will look like when we're done. And they provide a detailed bid with descriptions of each line item, the price, which you're going to have prices up front where you'll know what things are going to cost on every property, unless there's any specific items or variables that aren't on our bid form that it doesn't encompass for. So that would be the only change of pricing, is when it's something outside of our typical bid request, where we'll then provide a bid for that line item, for example. If there's concerns, if there's questions, our team is going to catch that during our bid process. So our bid team reviews the bid, goes over it with our contractor line item by line item, determines that it's actually indeed needed, or if there's options to save money for you, the investor. We'll also provide options on that. We will provide options for upgrading electric on any old electric in there. We'll provide upgrade options for electrical, plumbing, HVAC. So say there's an HVAC there, we'll put in an inspection fee if it's not determined to be in good shape, or a newer model, or if it isn't working, or if it is working. If it's not working at the time of our bid, we will then give you that price just in case it isn't working. We'd also include an inspection fee. So if that's approved, the inspection fee would cover the initial inspection and cleaning of the system, where then you'll know worst case scenario we have to replace, and this would be the cost to replace. Same with plumbing, same with electrical. What we'll do, the next step, is once you've watched the first intro video kind of explaining the overall view of what we have, the second step is then obtaining a bid and going with the process, believing in the process, trusting that we're going to do what we need to do, and every house is going to be brought up to the standards of both us at JBF as well as you as the investor. You will not be spending the extra time trying to pick materials, pick specific colors and all that stuff. We've already done all that for you. So once we get to this point where you're requesting a bid, you would have already reached out to us after the first video saying you're interested. You will then be sent the spec and SKU list for each, for rental and flip options. You'll make sure everything's good with you, and at that point you would then request the bid from us saying, okay, JBF, I'm ready for you. And the JBF team would then manage that bid. They'd review it, they'd go through it with the crew, they'd review it with you, make sure we're all on the same page. And once it's been reviewed and then reviewed again for a final review, it would then be sent back to you as our final bid. And that's typically the bid process. Nothing too difficult, nothing too time consuming on your end. It shouldn't be anything thrown at you that you're not already expecting, because you'll know our pricing. The one thing that I would like to make sure I'm very transparent on is the pricing you see in our bid when we send it to you prior to sending us the bid, is you'll see the prices that we pay our contractors, that we pay our crews. The only additional fee is you'll see a JBF fee on top of that, which is then how JBF makes their money, is by managing that project from A to Z. So you'll see the breakdown of prices, but then you'll also see on the final bid, which is a JBF fee. We'll call it a GC fee. It's not really a JBF fee. It's just being the GC and running that project from A to Z, to alleviate any time on your end that you don't need to be doing anything. Trust in the process. Let us do our thing on the JBF end, and we will go through and do what we're supposed to do. It'll look good. It'll be done with integrity, and our communication with you will be, on point. That would be the only additional fee that you would see. Everything else, when you review the bid form and the spec sheet, that's our pricing. That's what we pay our crews. Hope that clears things up. And at this point, then the next step, I'll be doing another video, would be the approval process. So for now, that's all I have. Looking forward to working with all of you. Thank you for your time as always, and have a great day.